Am I the asshole? Grabbed my wife's keys on Thanksgiving. Had Thanksgiving at my parents'. Came in separate vehicles. When I got there I noticed my wife left her keys on top of her car, so I put them in my pocket for safekeeping. 2 hours later her father starts hounding her to leave, so they pack up the car with our 2-year-old. Meanwhile I'm fishing with my lil nephew, reeled in 3 bullhead cats, and I notice they are leaving, so I immediately start cleaning up our gear and cleaning the fish to take home for tomorrow's dinner. Wife spent about 5 minutes frantically looking for her keys and her father getting frustrated that they can't find them, telling her he needs to be back home. I realize what's happening 5 minutes in while I'm cleaning the fish and jump up and run over and tell her sorry, the keys are in my pocket and I forgot I picked them up. Got lectured on how I need to change my behavior and that I'm inconsiderate. Something tells me that your 5 minutes was a lot more to everyone else. I'm a little irritated you were fishing while she is dealing with both packing up the 2-year-old and the grumpy dad. But it seems like you get moving in the right direction, eventually? Keys seem like the straw that broke the camel's back. She was under a ton of pressure while you were having leisure time with your nephew. Family holidays are hard. There are usually no winners, everyone is the asshole, and you could have hopped up sooner to help her. Nah, it is the holiday, people are tired and frustrated. She probably feels silly for leaving them on top of the car and took it out on you. She had been hounded by her dad, so she was frustrated. Should you have told her and given her back her keys? Sure, but again, it is the holiday and people get distracted. The keys were not lost, no one had to wait hours, and as soon as you remembered you had the keys, you gave them to her. Happy Thanksgiving. Not the asshole, no assholes here. Sounds like your wife was stressed out by the in-laws. I'd hope she's over it by now. Your father-in-law needs to take a chill pill. Was he due back at the old age home for bingo? I'd say not the asshole. No one communicated with you that they were leaving in the first place, which is pretty shitty. You can't help out if you don't know. It doesn't sound like you picking up the keys was malicious, you were just keeping them safe, because no one is going to leave their keys on top of their car intentionally. And when you realized what was going on, you immediately ran over with the keys. Sounds like her father was making the situation stressful, and you were made the fall guy so she could avoid confronting him on his behavior. Am I the asshole for staying in my room all day and not eating Thanksgiving dinner with my family? About a day ago me, 17F, and my mother, 45F, were about to put up the Christmas tree when we got into a small argument. She had hurt her back a few days ago and told me that me and my brother would have to do the heavy lifting for the tree this year. I agreed because putting up the tree means I get to spend time with the two of them watching a movie, baking cookies and decorating the tree. Yet when I get downstairs she's immediately annoyed with me for coming downstairs too late. I assumed that she was just in a bad mood because of her back pain, but when I asked about my brother coming to help us so I don't have to lift the couch by myself, she started to get an attitude, telling me we might as well not put the tree up if I am going to be so difficult and annoying. My brother comes downstairs and is immediately confused by her yelling. I decided to just go to my room for the night. When my dad comes home, my mother starts yelling to him about how both my brother and I are leeches. How I bring out the worst in people, how I'm hard to love, and how I can shove the tree up my ass, lol. The absolute icing on the cake was when she said, I can't wait until she leaves for college. I can't wait to see her struggle. The next day was Thanksgiving and I refused to come downstairs to cook or watch movies or eat Thanksgiving dinner with them if she would be there. I stayed in my room the whole day, quiet and trying to be as out of the way as possible. My mother has a history of making extremely mean comments, but they're always brushed off as, well, you know, she has issues from her childhood. Cut her some slack. But I feel like her behavior shouldn't be justified or tolerated. The last comment about college hurt me deeply because I'm in the process of waiting for acceptance letters from colleges, and as of right now I want nothing to do with her. Am I the asshole for not coming downstairs for Thanksgiving dinner? My brother came upstairs to tell me the food was ready, but I told him I didn't want to sit at the table if she would be there. Her comment struck me as too far for the situation. Am I wrong? Edit. Thank you for the very nice words and advice. It makes me feel good to know I'm not crazy to feel hurt. This story is basically just a screenshot of my life. I just want to be loved like everyone else. Thank you for listening, it's nice to be heard. Not the asshole. Honey, I could never ever imagine saying such things to my daughter. But my mother could say such things to me, and as a single person in my 20s, I was always trying to find alternative holiday gatherings. Your family brushes these comments off, but I don't want you to do that. Don't ever think such things are normal, because then I worry you won't expect better for yourself and wind up in similar situations. Saying you are hard to love is one of the most hurtful things a parent can say. I know because my mom said that to me. I'm 62 and still have no self-worth. Take care, honey. Not the asshole. Cruelty has no excuse. I don't care if someone hurt their back, or has a headache or had a bad day. Cruelty is not okay under any circumstances. I've had plenty of bad days. I've hurt my back, made Thanksgiving dinner with a terrible backache yesterday, but I've never been cruel. Cranky? Grumpy? Short-tempered? Absolutely. Never cruel. What your mother says was cruel, and that's a whole different thing than just being in a bad mood. From the sounds of it, she's been enabled in her cruelty by the other family members. If she has so much unresolved trauma that she's emotionally abusive, then she needs therapy, not to be given a break, i.e. a pass on abusive behavior. I wouldn't have participated either. Go to college. Get away from the abuse. Live your best life. Go to college. Pick a very good major where you can support yourself as an adult, study hard, always be saving a bit of money, work 2 jobs when you're not in school. Have a nest egg for when you graduate so you can get an apartment. Don't party too much, don't take risks with your life and future. Get therapy so you consciously don't act like your mom. Start building your own life and stay out of her way. You can't fix her and nothing you do will ever be enough. Go be fabulous and smart and don't let her drag you down. Not the asshole. Your mom was not only smack-talking you but also actively wishing you ill. I'm sure she struggles herself and that's part of what's going on here, but you deserve to be treated with love and respect, and I don't see who could blame you for not wanting to spend the holiday hanging out with someone who said they look forward to seeing you struggle in college. Hang in there. Come by our Mom for Amanu too if you ever need some internet, nice mom, support. Not the asshole. I love that cutting her slack for issues with childhood involves giving you issues in your childhood. Not the asshole. Long story short, your mother is cruel, if not even abusive. But I feel like her behavior shouldn't be justified or tolerated. And you are 100% right about this. Her past does not justify nor excuse her becoming cruel, abusive, and it absolutely shouldn't be tolerated. Am I the asshole for refusing to repair my Mills phone after my 18-month-old broke it? Am I the asshole for not wanting to replace my mother-in-law phone screen after my 18-month-old broke it? So, my mother-in-law was babysitting our Lo last night and for some reason she gave the Lo her phone to watch YouTube. Our Lo decided she was done, and threw the phone from her high chair, cracking the screen badly. Now we absolutely do not do this. Our LO gets maybe 2 hours of screen time a week, and it's always on the TV, never a phone. For context, my mother-in-law is very well off. Way more so than us, and the repair bill of her phone is a lot of money to us, especially this close to Christmas. My mother-in-law told my partner that we must pay to repair her phone screen as our daughter broke it. I argued 3 points. 1. We were not present at the time. We were not the ones supervising the Lo and shouldn't be accountable. 2. My mother-in-law decided to give our child the phone. It was not suggested by us, and as mentioned is not something we ever do ourselves. My mother-in-law knows this. 3. The cost of the repair is a significant amount of money to us, but not to her. Our combined income is less than half her solo income. My partner suggested that my mother-in-law pay for the phone and we pay back in installments. Mother-in-law refused because she thinks this is our issue to figure out. Personally, I also don't agree with us paying her back. The phone was broken due to her own negligence. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Don't give a baby expensive stuff and then make a shocked Pikachu face when they break it. Any chance mother-in-law deliberately got it broken because she wanted you to pay for a new one? Is she that much of an AH? Not the asshole. It's a fragile item, not a child's toy. I don't hand things to 18-month-olds that I don't wish to see thrown. Or whatever else crosses the 18-month-old mind. That might break or damage it. Not the asshole. The person supervising the child and/or the person who gave a valuable piece of electronic equipment that was never intended for use by a small child is 100% responsible for the damage. Oh look, it was your mother-in-law who irresponsibly gave her phone to a small child. There's the responsible, guilty party right there. It seems like your mother-in-law might need to take a babysitting course, because her decision-making is questionable, and I would have to ask what else she plans on allowing your child to play with next. A lighter perhaps? Or a steak knife? Maybe some small magnets? Handing an 18-month-old child a phone means you don't need it anymore. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. In this case I'd say it's on her. Not the asshole. She knowingly caused the situation with her poor choices. She handed the phone to your child. She should have to deal with the natural expectable consequences. You may be best served by paying for the repair so you don't have to hear about it at every family gathering for the rest of your lives. However, I would make it clear to mother-in-law that while you appreciate her help, she can no longer babysit until your child is much older because you can't afford the expenses caused by her choices. Am I the asshole for yelling at a lady on her phone before Wicked? Just left the movie and I'm curious. The first video saying turn off your phone goes and she's scrolling on Facebook with her brightness up. The second video saying to get off your phone goes and she's still on it, So I yelled down, "It's stadium seating," like 3 rows for her to turn it off. She did the rest of the show too. After the movie, a lady says I have an ugly voice and I joke that I love compliments on my voice. And I loudly say to my friend if I wonder if that's the lady I yelled at after she wouldn't listen to Jeff Goldblum to turn off her phone. And I say stay mad when she and her husband were shaking their heads in disgust. So am I the asshole, eh? Edit. The lady stayed off her phone. My friend joked I scared everyone straight lol. Not the asshole. It seems that an increasing proportion of people have either forgotten or never learned what is and isn't acceptable behavior in a public setting. You are doing a public service after all. If you don't tell them, then they won't learn. Awful lot of people in these comments that get their phones out when the movie starts. Eyes, not the asshole. Turn your damn phone off when the movie starts. Simple. This is my favorite kind of am I the asshole post, low stakes and petty. Absolutely not the asshole op. Thanks for fighting the good fight. Too many inconsiderate morons scrolling on their phones instead of being present these days. Not the asshole. Everybody needs to just listen to Jeff Goldblum. Not the asshole. I mean, calling the usher is better, but she should have turned her phone off after the first announcement. Not the asshole. Once the lights go dim, put the damn phone away. I don't care if it's the previews. Some people haven't seen them. If you want to scroll your phone, then stay your ass home.